Do you ever say a word over and over again, and it slowly begins to lose all meaning? That actually has a name. It's called semantic satiation. It's a thing that just is in our head, that over time, we overanalyze and start to second-guess ourselves. I couldn't say documentary for a long time, because the word just felt wrong. I would say documentary, because that's how the word was spelled. But words don't feel wrong. We just think there's something off. All of this is to, of course, say, do you think computers have something similar? They think, oh good, it's this password again. I know, it's silly. Computers don't have biases on words or repetition. If anything, that's honestly how they work. But I have been working on this password breaker script for a week now, and I can't help but imagine how the computer feels as I say, is the password password? Then the computer replies, nope. Okay, that's smart. But is it password 1? Still no? Okay, how about password 2? You weren't expecting that, now were you? So that's been my progress on the computer so far. Just the computer attempting a password 5 or so times, a reset, that which then resets the attempt counter, and then the next 5, and so on, and so on, and so on. In the meantime, I have done more reading. I found out that if there is some important information on your computer, that the, quote, security aware would make sure no data of any sensitivity would reside on a local machine, but instead on a server that is managed by an outside team whose only job is to manage the security of the server both physically and virtually, end quote. But let's face it, Brigadier here probably wasn't that conscious of network security. I mean, who is? Well, we know that one Katherine Johnson sure is, as she literally wrote the book on it. So that's a problem we'll have to face when this finally breaks down the gates of the Royal Army computer. Good news is that when it's done, it'll be easier for the program to break in again if we need to try this over. Please pray we don't. So, while we wait, I figure now is a good time to talk about the difference between a raven and a crow. I know, it's been on your minds so much, and you have been begging me, Gabe, please, tell us about the birds. We need to know this unimportant fact. Okay, you talked me into it. Don't twist my arm. So the first thing is that a crow is more of a pigeon size, whereas a raven is way bigger. Their wingspan is over 1 meter. Crows and ravens both have a iridescent color to their feathers, so if the light catches it, you could see purples and greens in the light. But a raven looks shinier. This book says, quote, as if covered in an oil, end quote. Yeah, this book doesn't do a good job of putting either of these species in a positive light. Oh, and it keeps repeating itself over and over again. Whoever edited this thing needs to be fired because they keep using the same line. What was it? Ravens are longer-necked in flight than crows. Yeah, it uses that one line. Ravens are longer-necked in flight than crows. 6, maybe 7 times in a single chapter alone. Okay, what else did I learn? Most of the time, ravens stay away from urban areas. But when the activity is low enough, they will come and visit. Also, a raven's tail feathers are wedge-shaped like an arrow, whereas a crow are more boxed and square. So if they're flying, that's the first easy indicator, instead of trying to see if it looks like it hasn't showered in 6 months and is covered in spray-on deodorant. So dumb. The next thing to tell is that the fingers, or primaries, are more separated from each other in flight than a crow's are, which are more bunched up. The physical aspects go on and on. I know you want to hear more because this might be on your next pub trivia night, but I wanted to point out an egregious error on my part. Whatever shall we do? I'll tell you what I did wrong. That's what I'll do. When I said that the ravens cawed at me, that's what they were, by the way, what I saw forever ago. They were ravens. Ravens don't caw, apparently. They make a noise that is deep reverberation croaking or a gronk. I know it's strange, but that's what it says right here in this book. So excuse my mistake. Several weeks ago, I was under stress. But it's very important to not forget that ravens are longer-necked in flight than crows. What else is there? Oh, here's some cool behavioral stuff. In several studies, ravens are shown to have theory of mind recognition, meaning they have empathy of others and recognize others like we recognize different people. Ravens track our gaze like dogs, but most researchers don't know why, because they don't use our gaze for locating food or objects. So that's kind of cool and weird. They're pack-minded and learn quickly to work together and have a social ladder that they can climb and everything. I want to know how that works. But that also means that they can hold grudges and see who's carrying their team or the unkindness. What a weird term for a group of ravens, because they genuinely seem pretty awesome. Or also, you could call them a treachery or a conspiracy, which are pretty dope names in my book. Last, but definitely not least, ravens are like parrots, and they can pick up speech and sounds from all around them. It's possible you can teach a raven to say, nevermore, or land on your shoulder and have it say hi, or whatever. You know what a relief that is? Oh, most likely, that bird that landed on my shoulder forever ago was just around humans, heard hi by some person, and repeated that, and then got rewarded for it. So it landed on my shoulder and just repeated it, assuming I would give it a treat. Talk about easing my mind. I thought I might have lost my mind, but this is totally normal. So I haven't lost my sanity, and I am in no danger to myself or others. Which is reassuring, to say the least. I'm sure that there's some damage up here, but what can we do? Maybe now that I've had time to focus up and get a little more oriented, maybe I'll start showing up at the community college again. I'll give it some more thought first, though. But in the meantime, I've been Gabriel Blythe, and this is Raven Talk. Remember, Survivor, you're not alone out there. Let me know if you need help. I'll come find you if I can. Good luck. Stay safe. Gabe out.